Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
If you were forced to give up an item, let's just say OV scores his, what's the record for goals? 871. Say, I think it is, Wayne's. Say he scores 872 and against the opposition, and let's say Shesterkin, let's say it's in New York, and he fires the puck into the crowd, the goalie for the Rangers, and you catch it. And then the Capitals come over to you and tap on the glass. Can we get that puck? It's Ovi's. It's the record-breaking goal. A, you don't want to give it to him, but B, you know you should. What would be an appropriate...
But C, that's $1 million puck in your hand.
They say the football's $500,000.
Okay.
That's what they're saying.
So the puck would be... This didn't break a record. The puck would be right there.
No, what would you want?
$500,000.
You scumbag!
That'd be the coolest thing to have the record-breaking puck. But you know what?
Oh, it's $894. Sorry. So if it's $895, you catch the puck for $895. Because what Tom said was, we'll get him a helmet, maybe a couple jerseys or something. I'm not quite like you.
Yeah.
Not a complete pimp like you. I would say, I want the helmet. I want the jerseys. I want season tickets. I want lunch with you at the Golden Corral tomorrow, Tom. And let me think about it a little longer, and then I'll get back to you.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
The breaking news today is the Ottawa Redblacks announced they have fired general manager Marcel Desjardins, or as their news release says, relieved him of his duties. I've been to several league meetings with him. We always had visits. He was always very, I thought, upfront and forthright, but he had to go. They're 2-9. They're 2-9. What did you see coming? They're by far the worst team in the CFL. By far.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the RP Show. It's a Tuesday. As my French teacher, Mr. Struthers, used to say, all day. What does that even mean?
Him and my dad.
What does that even mean? Is it Tuesday? Yeah, all day. Ready to talk sports for the next 2 hours. We're going to tickle your funny bone a little bit. We almost came to blows in the bunker over today's poll question. I got to tell you that. Hey, but I think we've settled on a good one here today, and I'll get to that in a moment. Hey, Jenna Reagan's joining from Southern California. Sabres, Rod. Sabres. We were just talking about Jenna. We said she's going to be perking up to this poll question.
Yes.
So, well, listen, here's what's happening on the show. The sports doctor, Dave Petrishen's joining us from Winnipeg to talk all things Winnipeg sports. The high-flying Blue Bombers and Jets, dare I say, as the Jets have now recorded points in 3 straight as they go into Anaheim tonight. And then in hour 2, former Pittsburgh Penguin Ryan Malone. And I just want to tell my brother, who watches every day, but Lee, you're going to want to be really paying attention in hour 2 of the show when Ryan Malone joins us, because not only is he going to talk about the NHL and the Penguins for which he played, but also the movement to bring back the hockey program at Robert Morse University, which my brother's daughter committed to, and then they pulled the plug on the hockey program. So they're trying to bring it back.
Which was a big topic of conversation at the U of S Huskies women's game on the weekend.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
Funny how things all tie together. So before we get into the quick six, here's the fight that we had. I was like, poll question, maybe a good one would be, are you going to watch Game 1 of the World Series tonight? Because I think I would be voting yes. You guys didn't want any part of that at all. You didn't want any part of that. And then there was the NFL question we've been holding on to since Friday when one of our viewers in London, Ontario, brought up the streaks of the Lions and the Cardinals, which one goes longer. And we're like, well, let's hang on to that one. And you said, we're NHL first. We got to go with a hockey question. So we came up with this. Who's the best team in the NHL right now? And I said, you know what? I got time for that. So we looked at the unbeaten teams, the Florida Panthers, who are off to their best start in franchise history, 6-0. Edmonton Oilers, how about that? The St. Louis Blues are unbeaten, and it's their best start ever. Where'd they come from?
I know.
And then we threw in the let's go Buffalo just because of what they're doing. They are the talk of the NHL. There's no doubt. They are the story.
Yeah.
They're the story. Those are our 4 teams. Who's the best team in the NHL right now? And you got 24 hours to vote on it. I haven't tweeted it yet, but I will. Can we get to the Quick Six show horn, please? Thanks, Director Jordan. Who really piped up in this morning's meeting, and I added some really good things, I might add.
Yes.
I went in there after. I'm like, good for you, Jordan. How about that? Way to go, Jordan. Way to make your feelings known. NHL last night. Let's go through it. Frederik Andersen made 24 saves against his former team, and the unbeaten Carolina Hurricanes matched the best 5-game start in franchise history by defeating the struggling Toronto Maple Leafs 4-1. Jack Campbell stopped 31 shots for Toronto, who are 0-3-1 in their past 4 and have managed just 1 goal in 3 of those games. Hang on, we're coming back on that. Frank the Tank Vetrano and Joe Thornton scored for the first time this season, and Florida stretched its season-opening win streak to 6 games and beating Arizona 5-2 at FLA Live Arena. I don't know how you people watch more than one game at once. Good for you. I can't. I sat there and I watched the Panthers and the Coyotes, and I thoroughly enjoyed all of it, save for the WHL podcast I was on out of Lethbridge in the middle of that. But the Panthers... We're going to come back to a Stanley Cup final prediction here in a moment on the Quick Six. They look really hot. The Coyotes have matched the worst start in franchise history. And can I say to you, what did I say a couple years ago? It's coming. Who called this? This guy. Andrew Mangiapane scored twice, and Calgary beat New York 5-1 for the Flames' 3rd straight win. Blake Coleman and Michael Backlund each had a goal and a helper. And Christopher Tanev also scored for Calgary. Johnny Hockey got his 7th assist of the season, and Jacob Markstrom stopped at 28 shots. I want to throw in that former Pat and Warrior Dryden Hunt scored for the Rangers. Gregory Hoffman scored his first NHL goal and added a helper, leading Columbus past Dallas 4-1 for their 2nd win in 3 games. Victor Olofsson scored 2 goals, and Craig Anderson made 35 saves in Buffalo's 5-1 win over Tampa Bay. When are we going to start talking about the Lightning?
We got it soon.
And the fact that they're a hot mess right now, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Vladimir Tarasenko scored 2 goals, and Ville Husso recorded his 2nd career shutout as the St. Louis Blues remain undefeated in 5 games with a 2-0 win over the Los Angeles Kings. It's the best start in Blues franchise history. That's the NHL thing. We'll come back on that. Point 2, Monday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints have handed the Seattle Seahawks their 3rd straight home loss in a 13-10 battle in the rain. I'm glad I didn't watch much of it, Moose. Both teams managed only a touchdown in a game where Seattle was still without quarterback Russell Wilson. New Orleans rookie kicker Brian Johnson booted 2 field goals to help notch the win for the Saints. Seahawks 2-5, and at 3 games below 500, it's the worst record they've had in the Pete Carroll era. What did we say yesterday? All good things come to an end. I think we've reached that in Seattle.
We've reached it in Seattle.
Point 3, I'm gonna dabble on this. I sashayed over to ESPN2 and watched the Manning broadcast, where it's Peyton Manning and Eli Manning sitting in their living rooms, bringing in various guests, and they just talk during the game. I don't know why anybody would ever go back to the traditional broadcast of Monday Night Football after watching. It was very entertaining. And they had Tom Brady on there, Tom Edward Brady. Tom was very awkward. You said you missed that part of it, eh?
I did. I kind of got some of the Coles notes of it, but I missed it. I wish I would have seen it.
Tom didn't know when to jump in and when not to jump in, but it's Tom Brady. He could have farted into the mic and we would have thought it was great. Who cares? It's Tom Brady. Say whatever you want, Tom. But Peyton Manning is really all you need. I would sit and watch Peyton Manning talk during the whole game. He leads the whole thing. Eli just sits there and giggles uncomfortably.
I know. And, like, Tom lost the bet, so he was wearing the Eli Ole Miss jersey, right? Peyton's a Tennessee guy. And then Tom, I think, was talking about playing the Mannings. And he's like, I liked my games against Peyton a lot more than I did against Eli. And Eli just played. He's like, I like my games against you, Tom.
Yeah.
He's obviously beat him in 2 Super Bowls.
Because I've said I don't normally listen to the announcers anyways of football nor hockey. I'm not even listening. These guys just made me kind of sit up and listen. And I just love Peyton. He's hilarious. Yeah. So it got me thinking, if the CFL and the TSN were to put their heads together and say, we should bring in some CFL greats and do the same thing for their broadcasts, which they probably won't because they'll go, it'll look like we're copying. Who cares? It's worthwhile. It's entertainment.
Do it.
Took him 10 years to put the shot clock on TSN and Sportsnet because Fox had it first.
It was almost out of spite they wouldn't do it.
What do you mean almost out of spite? This is exactly why they wouldn't do it. We can't have the Americans beat us at something in hockey broadcasting. We invented it, for God's sake. Finally, they added it. So the CFL and TSN will probably never do this, but I thought for a while, and I came up with the name Adriano Belli. And for our American viewers, he was a Canadian defensive tackle who worked in his dad's butcher shop in Toronto, and he would run around kissing people on the field. I'm not even joking a little bit. They used to call him a kissing bandit.
That's
Adriano
right.
Belli.
That's right.
Who wouldn't want to see what this guy's... I'd like to know what he's doing now, let alone do a Manning-style broadcast. And then our friend, Mr. Furious, David Benefield, the San Francisco product who played for the BC Lions. He had a cup of coffee with the 49ers. Those are the two guys that I would like to see. And before we move on to more CFL talk, you had some thoughts on who you'd like to see in a Manning-style CFL broadcast.
Yeah, and I kind of came away with the Flutie brothers as the closest for me. Darren Flutie was on CBC as an analyst for a time when they carried CFL games in the 90s and into the early 2000s. And I think they'd be entertaining, Doug and Darren. I think it'd be a lot of fun telling stories about old Grey Cups in the snow and
amazing.
NFL and everything else while you're playing the games. I think that would be really cool down the stretch and into the playoffs. Cool.
John Schmeizer's watching in Kansas City. And he says the Manning broadcast with Tom Brady was phenomenal. More of that, please. It was more entertaining than the game at times. Some of these CFL games this year could use some dressing up. Like the 32-3 spank job on Saturday, Hamilton, Ottawa, or the 45-0 spank job with Winnipeg, BC. Tacona Powley in Winnipeg says, sorry, Rod, Walby and Stiegel. There is a lot of votes for Walby on that. That guy is very entertaining. And again, for our American viewers, he's the 6'8", 400-pound lineman, the nickname Bluto, who's just a Winnipeg icon. Moving on. I see it going. We got that going. Got the comments going on that, which is what we want to do. That's what we do here. Breaking news today. Was alerted to this first thing this morning. The Toronto Argonauts have traded quarterback Nick Fatty Arbuckle to the Edmonton Elks, per sources. This story broken by 3downnation.com. In exchange for Arbuckle, the Argos receive a third-round selection in the 2022 CFL draft, which could be upgraded to a second-round choice if the 28-year-old re-signs in the Alberta capital. First reply that I saw on Twitter to that was some fan going, why? And I'm like, couldn't have said it better myself. Why? You just shipped your franchise quarterback Edmonton out of there to Montreal, which really seems like there was more to that than meets the eye. And we thought you were going with Taylor Cornelius and Dakota Prukop. And then they turn around and acquire Nick Fatty Arbuckle from Toronto, who wasn't playing there because he lost the job to McLeod Bethel. Why? And then the other thing is I went to the Argos website and the Edmonton's website, and it wasn't on either website. So it was 3 Down broke the story, but nobody else has reported it. So where are you on that trade, Moose? Before we get on to some more fun things here.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Arbuckle is still a young quarterback, 28 years old.
Yeah.
So I look at this as being a move for the Elks, saying, look, we need to find our guy. He's had some success in this league. He's familiar. He's young. You know, he's not playing well in Toronto, but we think he still has something there, and we want him to be our next guy. Doesn't cost you much. I mean, a third-round pick, which ends up being a second-round pick if he sticks around in Edmonton. Why not start to acquire some assets here and see if he can't be the next guy? If he's not, you're out a draft pick, a third-round pick. If he doesn't re-sign and come back, then you're out a third-round draft pick, and it's not a big deal. But if you think that Nick Arbuckle could be something in this league, then you're bringing in a guy who's young but old enough at 28, and he's ready to play and ready to start and ready to lead this team forward. You got to have that continuity. You can't go into camp. I don't want to go into camp not sure who's going to play a quarterback. You kind of want to have some stability there if you're trying to turn this program around.
Yeah. Chris Bird's watching in King City, Ontario, and he says, why Arbuckle? One word, salary. Yeah, that's fair. But these, that's where sports loses me because, I came up in an era you didn't really, where trades were literally trades. There were football trades. There were hockey trades. They were to make your team better. And I get that sports has changed and it's all about money now. I get that. But I don't apologize for the fact that it loses me. Tank Abbott's watching in the Energy City, and he says the Elks wanted out of the contract. And that's Trevor Harris. And I'm like, yeah, why do they sign him in the first place then? Northside YEG in Edmonton says Cornelius isn't winning games. Why not? Very, very excited about this guy's signing. Who? What? You're excited about who? Fatty Arbuckle coming to town? I'm so confused. Are you getting him for salary? Are you getting him to win games? You're
getting him to be the next guy.
To be the next guy.
Yeah. And he's cheaper than Trevor Harris.
But you're paying him more than the guy you're starting. Got it.
Today, yeah.
State Fair football. 0.5. More fun stuff. And by the way, the warm-up's brought to you by eCall Electric. Our annual fall promotion sale is on now with special pricing on hundreds of in-stock items. eCall Electric, let's get to work. We're going to have to break here in a couple of moments, so I'm just going to drop this stink bomb, and then we'll walk away for the 4-minute break and come back. The Athletic, I pay my $70 a year, which isn't a lot. It's a lot more than the Columbia Records Cassette of the Month Club, but it's worth the $70 a year, obviously. And they came out with projections. I love the numbers, and I love the data, the analytics. Doesn't really mean a lot, but it gives shows like us a lot to talk about. And their projections right now to win the divisions are, to win the Atlantic Division, the Florida Panthers. To win the Metropolitan Division, do you want to know? Do you want to take a stab? The Carolina Hurricanes. Okay. To win the Central Division, the Colorado Avalanche. And to win the Pacific Division, the Edmonton Oilers.
Wow.
Right. Now, I think Maggie the Monkey could have probably done these projections based on what the records are happening, but I'm just saying they're not what they were going into the season. Nobody necessarily predicted this. So when I was on that podcast last night in Lethbridge with John Easthope, I asked him the origin of the surname Easthope. He said, Northern Britain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a bit of a fetish for those types of things, surnames and their origins. He said, who's your Stanley Cup final pick? And I said, well, I had the Vegas Golden Knights against the Florida Panthers, and I'm reserving the right come the new year to change that. For now, I'll stay with it because I'm not off the Vegas Golden Knights train, clearly fully on the Florida Panthers train. But those are the projections of the division winners. They didn't have a Stanley Cup final pick, but I'm just thinking, has yours changed? Hold that thought.
I will.
So the poll question is, who's the best team in the NHL right now? We haven't even got all the way through the quick six yet, so we'll be right back. The warm-up's brought to you by eCall Electric. We'll be right back on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds. Feel in the air. It's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama. I live for the emotion. can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Safety is a primary pillar at Core Green. We have core certification. Our workers are following best practices in the industry for safety. We always want to make sure that our contractors, us here at the shop, and our customers can come to work and go home at the end of every day. Give Core Green Systems a call today.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Oh, boy.
We need a pit stop.
Okay, we're calling in the world's fastest grounds crew. Look alive back there, guys. I know you can do this. In the middle of the break, all of a sudden my headphone box just... It didn't die. It just went all weird. It started to sound like a old video game. Ping, 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 ping. Like I'm shooting a laser.
Yeah.
Ping, ping. And then... You guys you're hearing that, right? Because I hear talking going on back there. Can you hear it?
Yeah. I don't hear a ping, ping, ping. My headphones are
You're
fine.
perfectly fine?
100%.
Okay. So you people at home are going to be distracted as it's Rolf, right? Is it Rolf?
He's probably going to duck down and nobody's going to see it.
He's going to slide around here underneath and change the bat.
Oh, there's his hand.
Yeah. Can we go to the wide shot?
Your uncle.
Give us a wave, Rolf, with your right hand. Hey! There he is. How about that? Magic! It's the world's fastest grounds crew. We're working on it. My 4 favorite words in broadcasting. Good job, Rolf. And to all of you people back there. I'm sitting here awaiting a news release from the Toronto Argonauts or the Edmonton Elks, and if the other media have got it, good for them. Because I was alerted to this trade by the notifications from the Score, from TSN, from every app, but there's been it's not on the team's websites anywhere. Toronto Argonauts trading quarterback Nick Arbuckle to the Edmonton Elks for a third-round pick and the rights to a player on Edmonton's neg list. That kind of goes on to name the stats for Nick Fatty Arbuckle. And that's about it. But there's no explanation, really, of the trades here other than he was not. Did you do it? Thank you, Rolf. Ta-da, and it's working 100%. This guy's the best. Look at that. World's fastest pit crew right here.
How about that?
The RP Show. Thanks, guys. So where do we go from here, caller? We have the CFL fans locked in. We've got NHL fans, obviously. We had a question here earlier. Came from Toronto. From the Beneath Sports podcast, says, with the Nick Arbuckle trade, how does the CFL improve the poor quarterback play and depth? I feel like that's a topic for another time. There's so many things going on here right now. My mind's turning to mush.
Well, you did want to talk about the top teams in each division in the NHL.
Yeah, so let's pause the CFL thing because as far as the poor quarterback play, I think they'd prefer that nobody talk about that and just distract you. Aren't the games great? We're playing. You know what I mean?
It was close. The game was close.
Yeah. It went down to the final play. Did you see that? Mike Horrigan's watching in Toronto in the 905. He says, Moose, thoughts on the Leaf game? Did I miss that segment? We'll spend 90 seconds on that for the Moose because yesterday you said Sheldon Keefe's the problem, the head coach. Are we there yet with Toronto? Are we there? Throwing jerseys on the ice now. Do these guys even get through the season, Kyle Dubas and Sheldon Keefe? The game was close. I was listening to part of it last night, and then something happened that broke it open.
Yeah.
That the Hurricanes just took off with it. What happened?
Well, just bad goal, and, you know.
Oh, boy.
It's a culture. I think it's a culture issue. I really do. I don't think it's a...
great. What a time to decide that.
I know. But I do. I don't know. Again, I didn't really have a big back and forth, but like Theo Fleury jumped into it yesterday.
Right.
On our Twitter feed. And he said, the players got to hate losing. They don't really hate losing. And I said, you know, they have to learn how to win, but they have to really hate losing. And it doesn't feel like they do. And, you know, people want to, and I bring up, you know, Yzerman didn't win a cup till he was in his 30s. I think he was 31 when he won. You have to learn how to win, too, in the group around you. But when I watched that documentary, the thing that bugged me about Keefe is he's got that defeatist losing mentality. And I go back to the 5-1 game against Ottawa. They were up 5-1, ended up losing 6-5 in overtime. And as soon as Ottawa scored a goal, Keefe is on the bench in this documentary being like, yep, we're playing bad. Yep, we're going to lose. Guys, you keep playing like this, we're going to lose. So all the players are sitting there thinking we're going to lose. We're going to lose. There's no swagger. There's no confidence. There's no attack. It's all about trying not to lose. And when you're thinking about falling, right, and someone says don't fall, what do? You look down, and you probably end up falling, right? So I don't like that idea. I don't like that mentality. I don't like that way of thinking, and that's what I got from Sheldon Keefe. It was always kind of a losing mentality. Now, he's won, so give him the benefit of the doubt, but the players, too, have to learn how to lose. I've always been a big proponent of you don't need to get rid of Marner. You don't need to get rid of Tavares or Matthews. You don't got to get rid of players. You got to sit them down and say, you guys have to figure out how to win and learn how to do this and hate losing. But they're not there yet, and this is could be a long year for the Leafs if they don't figure it out.
I'm loath to obviously sit and talk about the Leafs every day. We got enough networks doing that in this country, trust me.
Well, and that's it. Like, we've addressed this. Until they show signs of getting out of it, there's no need to keep beating this.
Yeah, but I would suggest, I just typed in Mitch Marner's salary. 3 different figures came up for this season. The latest one here from Forbes, pardon me, has him at $12.3 million. Marner. I thought he was 11-ish, but whatever. I think signing him for the production that he's had, regular season playoffs or otherwise, is grounds for dismissal right there. So anyways, that's the Toronto deal, and Mike Horrigan, there is your answer from Moose on, again, what looks like another disappointing for the season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But they completely fold their tents in Game 7 against Montreal last year in round 2, and I'm like... What was done to address that?
I know.
Nothing. So Mike Babcock sitting in Saskatoon, laughing all the way to the bank, going, I'm not the problem. Ha! That's what Babs is thinking. Interesting point here From the CFL fans, by the way, and look at the comments coming in from Alex White. How about the Flames lately? Another guy. What do you think of Drake Batherson? Right? Like I said to Darren, we had a very long meeting this morning. I said, we got to just stick to what we want to talk about here right now. The CFL fans have been upset that we've made a decision to go another direction in terms of the balance, the majority of the show. Newsflash, we're still talking more CFL than anybody else in the country. That is a fact. Yeah. So be patient and just be entertained, okay? How about those Flames, though? I'll just say this. They've won, is it 3 in a row now? They're in New Jersey tonight. The Flames are coming around. This is very similar to me, to the National Football League, to a certain extent the CFL. If you broke down the 82-game schedule into a 17-game schedule, we're only in week 1 in the NHL. Would you throw the baby out with the bathwater because of what happened in week 1? You wouldn't.
No.
So all these generalizations and characterizations of any NHL team, frankly, the Leafs on the one end or the Oilers on the other, is a little early to plan any parade for any team. I get that's what keeps us in business. I totally understand that. But you can't allow yourself to get caught up in the hype of what's going on outside your walls.
Right.
And I wonder who does. The teams that do, I think, are the losing teams, I would think.
They do. Yeah, the fan bases are all over this, right? I mean, they get obsessed with what's going on the other side. But, yeah, the teams have to worry about themselves. And with the Flames, I mean, yeah, they seem to be figuring it out a little bit after a little bit of a rough start in the first couple of games. Played pretty good against Washington, got out to a really good lead, ended up winning that hockey game, winning again, and now New Jersey tonight is another good test for them. But it's all about, Daryl Sutter coming in and building that culture, right? That winning culture, that swagger. Is this going to be a team that it starts expecting to win every night? And Calgary has an opportunity to get there. There's some good players there. So it's exciting to watch where these teams go, Winnipeg included playing tonight. So they're starting to put points together in multiple games and having that expectation of winning. So it's good times in the prairies.
It's good times everywhere. Life's what you make it.
Yeah.
But this is like where we got a little overwhelmed a couple of weeks ago. Remember, it was like everybody was pulling us in every direction. For instance, text from the 639 here on the Prairie Mobile text line. Hey, Rod Squad. Hope you enjoyed Saskatoon. Another win for the football dogs who are starting to roll. Big game at Manitoba next week for first place. U Sports football is back. Signed, Trevor. See what I mean? Sports is back. People are going everywhere. It's a lot to try to keep your eye on the ball on everything. I did have a hockey guy call me yesterday regarding the COVID outbreak on the University of Regina Cougars hockey team, which canceled their game Saturday night against Mike Babcock's Huskies. And he said it was only 2 players and the coach. They felt fine. It was a positive test. On 3 guys, canceled the whole game. And I'm like, well, it's not just Canadian sports like the Devontae Adams and the Green Bay Packers. And the Penguins had an outbreak here a couple weeks ago. Holy smokes. Not quite sure how I went down that road. Just an interesting time in sports. Hey, here's a good one. Wayne in Victoria writes in, isn't it still too early to pick playoff teams in the NHL? How about no? It's never too early to pick playoff teams in the National Hockey League. Last I checked, this is Canada. Tacona Powley in Winnipeg says nobody wants more than a minute of Leafs talk. That's why I gave Moose 90 seconds, and then we're moving on. See what I did there?
Yes.
Do you have a thought on poor quarterback play in the Canadian Football League? So while we're sitting here, just on one side.
Yeah.
Tank in the Energy City says the CFL isn't having great games right now. The NHL should have precedence over the CFL as of now. But I'd listen to whatever is on the docket on the show. Comment of the day. Howbeit we do the talking and everybody sit back and be entertained. Isn't that how it's supposed to work? That was kind of the plan when we got into this thing together.
That's how we drew it up.
And one more. Janice, watching on YouTube, says, come on, Oiler fans are already planning their Stanley Cup parade. That's just the distinct difference between what I was saying was, let the fans do whatever they're going to do. It's the teams, I wonder if they're panicking internally or getting too excited. You know, Dave Tippett in Edmonton is not getting excited about anything. He's picking out every mistake the Oilers are making because that's what cost them in the playoffs last year. The attention to, actually the last 2 years, the attention to detail that completely unraveled in the playoffs. That's Dave Tippett's job. I'm talking about, you know, the fans are overreacting. The coach has got it right. And as far as Sheldon Keefe, I don't know. That's your team. 60 seconds or less. Quarterback play in the CFL. Is it as bad as they say? And if so, does it need to be remedied?
I don't think we've all of a sudden got bad quarterbacks in the Canadian football.
No, I don't think so either.
There are lots of great. Every team, I think, has a great quarterback, has a good quarterback. I really believe that. It's whether it's taking the year off is still catching up with them, but the defenses have a leg up in a big way. I mean, it's not like we're sitting here and every ball is hitting the dirt 3 feet in front of the receiver, or they're sailing 3 feet over top of the receiver's head every time. The defenses have a leg up, and you kind of thought that would be the case because when you haven't played and you don't have the time to practice and you're not in that rhythm and you don't have that chemistry, defense can just pin their ears back and go. You can line up man on man and just go, right? The offense needs to be on the same page with all of your schemes and all of your assignments. It's a little easier to play schoolyard football on the defensive side of the football, I think, than it is on offense. So I think that's it. The defenses just have the leg up, and the offenses just haven't had enough time. And that's what happens when you miss a whole season.
No preseason. It's been a weird year.
Been a weird year.
It's got a text from an insider who says the Edmonton Elks have officially announced the trade. Nick Fatty Arbuckle is going from the Toronto Argonauts to the Edmonton Elks. Well, you CFL fans are going to love this. The sports doctor from Winnipeg joins us next. We're going to talk Bombers. We're going to talk Jets. If you don't like it, go watch something else. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, live streaming on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Canada's daytime sports talk show continues, and it's official. The teams have announced it. The Edmonton Elks and the Toronto Argonauts hooking up in a trade today. Quarterback Nick Arbuckle going from Toronto to Edmonton. Third-round pick going the other way. Craig Campbell's watching in Southern Ontario. And from the Hockey Hall of Fame, he says, it's painful seeing the CFL quarterback carousel continue. And that was kind of my thing. When I saw the notification first this morning, I'm like, what? Why? Why are they doing this? We're talking NHL and CFL with our next guest, the good sports doctor out of Winnipeg, David Petrishen. And Dave, before we get into the dominance of the Bombers, the run of the Jets, how do you feel about these trades that's going on with quarterbacks in the CFL right now? Confused as me?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think Montreal and Toronto are both in playoff contention. And, the Trevor Harris thing, to me, seems like a salary dump, and he wasn't getting along. And probably all the reports that we've heard and you've documented, too, there's a lot of problems in Edmonton in the locker room. So, maybe by getting the broom out a little bit, they think their thing. I think the Edmonton problems go way worse than the locker room. I don't know if the head coach, it doesn't seem like he even knows what he's doing. So I don't know. That's what I think. I think, Montreal and Toronto are both in playoff contention. So, they think they're making their teams better.
Like you say, it makes sense for them, not as much necessarily for Edmonton. I gotcha. So listen, Winnipeg's the place to be. The Bombers 9-1, clinched first for the first time, the earliest since, 1972. The Jets have points in 3 straight. Are you guys finally happy over there?
Well, in terms of Blue Bomber fans, we are. Even though, you might say the crowd was a little bit light on a Saturday night. They had a Winnipeg Jets game across the city at the same time. It is October. Winnipeg, I wrote in the Manitoba Post over the weekend that Manitoba fans are a peculiar bunch, rather. When a few years ago, when they were having trouble getting rid of some seats at IG Field, it was because, Bombers are going to lose. Now, when you talk to somebody going to the game, no, they're going to win. So which one is it? I think you got to get out there. I think it's a tough order for selling the next home game against Montreal, which is another Saturday night tilt at 6 o'clock start. We're now pushing November. And it's a pretty tall order for like you said, first time since 1972, the Western Final, going to be in December the 5th, 3:30 start. So, in December, that's pretty much sundown. So Toronto Maple Leafs are playing across the city against the Winnipeg Jets that night as well. So we're going to have some tough time selling that game. And it's just not because of the team. It's a lot of weather, a lot of factors. But if you are a Blue Bomber fan, you need to go to the playoff game. Like any playoff game in the Canadian Football League. And we've seen that for years. The notable exception is Saskatchewan. For the last few years, the playoff games have been packed. But I can go back to the days of the 80s, and when the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were on the East Division, and we had some East finals, we had some East semifinals, and there was just nobody showing up because it's, the potential for -20 with the wind chill is there.
No kidding. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying watching this historical dominance of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I think the rest of the fans across the country are thinking it's a little much, but I get where you guys are as a fan base. You're like, this is great. You keep the pedal to the metal, of course. But are you hearing this? People are bringing up the 1989 Edmonton Eskimos, 16-2, on their way to being the best team in CFL history, upset in the West Final, as you know, by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Are you hearing that at all in Winnipeg, that you're getting so far out in front that come playoff time, you could stub your toe? Has that been brought up at all?
It has not been brought up at all in Winnipeg. They said that. There was a few people saying that prior to Saturday's game against the BC Lions, but that didn't work out like that. You've seen the dominance over the BC Lions. You've seen the dominance in these games. You see how not only did we pitch a perfect shutout on Saturday night, but the Bombers have allowed 6 points in the last, how many games? 9 games or so in the fourth quarter in their games, or actually since the Toronto game. So this team is clicking on all cylinders, and it's going to be a challenge for Mike O'Shea to keep people focused because really the next 3 games are meaningless because they have clinched first place. So maybe you cut back a little bit on the practices and use your 60-minute games the next 3 for practices. I don't know what the solution is, but it haven't been brought up before. We've seen that in football before. We've seen teams cruise before, and we've seen, there was in 2011, the Bombers were 7-1 going into Labor Day, and then they just crashed and ended up in the Grey Cup and got destroyed by BC. So there's always that thing in the back of your head that, maybe you are getting too good. Maybe you are getting cocky. 2011 was, of course, Swaggerville, and we all know what happened there. And after Coach Richard Harris passed away. So I think the coaching staff, the general manager, fans in Winnipeg, people in restaurants and stuff need to keep the team focused and saying that we got to win these next few games and keep that pressure on. It's hard enough going into a bye week with playoffs, let alone 3 meaningless games. So the eye has to be kept on the football.
Dave, we only have 3 minutes left, and I got 2 questions for you. The Jets and Ducks will wrap up their mini-series to open this season tonight. The Jets finally got back on the snide. What's the real Jets, do you think? The ones that were winless in their opening 3 or the ones that have points in their last 3?
Pretty hard to say. I mean, the first couple of games on the road, the Jets looked awful. Connor Hellebuck looked awful. It was uncharacteristic of the team to play that poorly. And the goaltending, former Vezina Trophy winner. We saw a little bit of improvement in Minnesota, except for dumping a big lead. And they came out flying in the 2 games in Winnipeg. So I think, they've got a couple of guys still sitting out. Blake Wheeler, the captain, Mark Scheifele, the alternate captain, in COVID protocol. So, it's a great time of the year to kind of get some different players, some different line combinations, and give some Manitoba Moose players time to shine. We're going to see tonight. We're going to see if this team was for real. Can they come back out? Can they bounce nicely? Like you said, the best 2 out of 3 with Anaheim.
Hey, and listen, we're big fans of the Winnipeg Ice here. Real big fans of the Winnipeg Ice. And if you guys aren't paying attention, they're 9-0 to start the season. Somebody asked me last night at a Lethbridge, they're like, who's the best team in the East? I said, it's Winnipeg and then everybody else. Is anybody talking about the Ice in your town?
Absolutely. I mean, we lost our radio sports station. So, I mean, the focus has been on the Winnipeg Jets and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and to a lesser extent, the Manitoba Moose, because, they kicked off their season. But, the newspapers and a lot of stuff, there's a lot of coverage going on about the Winnipeg Ice, and it's been a tremendous start. I mean, there was a buzz all off season. This is a very hardworking grassroots team that would be out at, not really at malls, but there'd be businesses. You can see that businesses supported them. Even before they kicked off the season, before COVID, they were out at every golf tournament. And they were really working the room, so to speak. And so this created a buzz. And then, of course, last season being, pretty much a write-off. But, man, to come out of the gate, too. So it's a pretty good time to be a sports fan here in Winnipeg right now.
Absolutely, no doubt, and I'm glad to hear you say that. They've been very aggressive with us, giving us tickets to give away, putting their players on, and I'm glad to hear that they are moving the needle in the Manitoba capital. Dave, we covered a lot, my friend. The Guy Fieri comments are coming in. How often in your life do the Guy Fieri, it's just like Ted Lasso and Jason Sudeikis. DuPont gets it every day. How often do you get the Guy Fieri comments?
I get a lot, especially with posted pictures. People that really don't know me, and when people, I'm in Blue Bomber gear today, and I don't have my sunglasses on, but we like the doppelganger thing. We like that.
Of course. All right, David, my best. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
The sports doctor, Dave Petrishen, joining us from the Manitoba capital, the Slurpee capital. We'll be right back to the bunker, broadcasting from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle in a moment. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
At Core Grain, we strive to be the most qualified grain storage and grain conditioning experts in Canada. Visit us today at coregrain.ca. Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Peterson.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're going to jump into a sports update here, then viewer takeover. And then the Moose will come back in hour 2. Ryan Malone will be joining us then, former Pittsburgh Penguin. He's got a lot of things he'd like to discuss coming up in hour 2. Brady writes us on the Prairie Mobile text line. He says, hey, Rod, is the text line still lost? No, Brady, we solved that within 20 minutes yesterday. It was hiding in a compartment of my vehicle, my capital GMC Terrain. So Brady writes it on Facebook, and he says, Pete Carroll isn't the right head coach for the job. We need a new defensive coordinator. He's talking about the Seahawks, by the way. And we need to stop running the ball 8 times in a row. All-out crap show of a team from top to bottom. I don't think Russ stays if Pete Carroll isn't gone. And Brady goes on to say Habs hopefully will carry on from Saturday's game tonight. You got to admire the passion. And the Habs tonight are at the Seattle Kraken, by the way. And speaking of that, my laptop has taken a dump, but I was able to call up the sports break on my phone. So game 1 of the World Series goes tonight in Houston, where the American League champion Astros will welcome the National League champion Atlanta Braves. 6:08 Mountain first pitch. The Astros are looking for their second MLB championship after winning the World Series in 2017. The Braves last won it all in 1995. Don't we all remember it? The Vancouver Canucks play their home opener tonight as they welcome the Minnesota Wild to Rogers Arena. The Canucks opened the NHL season with a 6-game roadie. It'll be the Canucks' first game in front of fans in nearly 600 days after they played home games in an empty arena last season due to COVID-19. I think that would be worth watching. I just realized I won't be able to because I will be broadcasting the Notre Dame Hounds and Melfort Mustangs tonight at the Dunk. Maybe I can get home in time to catch the end of it. The red-hot Calgary Flames are on the road to take on the New Jersey Devils tonight. The Flames have won 3 in a row, coming off a 5-1 road win over the Rangers on Monday night. Elsewhere, Montreal visits Seattle tonight, as we mentioned, and the Winnipeg Jets visit Anaheim. The Canadian women's soccer team continues its celebration tour with a friendly against New Zealand tonight in Montreal. The Canadians are coming off a 5-1 win over New Zealand on Saturday night in Ottawa. And Canada's Olympic curling pre-trials continue today in Liverpool, Nova Scotia. The top 2 men's teams and top 2 women's teams in the field will advance to the 2021 Olympic curling trials next month in Saskatoon. This morning's early draw features a match between Krista McCarville and Jacqueline Harrison, who won their opening matches on Monday. Is Ryan there, guys? He is, right? Our technical producer, Ryan, is there. And Sean, too, right? The IKS crew is out there in Liverpool, Nova Scotia, helping out with the broadcast of that. I didn't even know that there was a Liverpool, Nova Scotia. See what sports does for putting communities on the map? It's unbelievable. This sports update is a good one, and it's brought to you by Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games. And book your group or business Christmas party now. Ballers Rec Room. And also brought to you by the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, where you'll never need to ask to get the CFL games put on because they'll have them on. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. We're going to top up the Caliber coffee. Come back in hour 2 with the Moose, Ryan Malone, NHL alum, and more of you. Stick around after this break here on Game Plus TV.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
At Core Grain, we strive to be the most qualified grain storage and grain conditioning experts in Canada. Visit us today at coregrain.ca. Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
The breaking news today is the Ottawa Redblacks announced they have fired general manager Marcel Desjardins, or as their news release says, relieved him of his duties. I've been to several league meetings with him. We always had visits. He was always very, I thought, upfront and forthright, but he had to go. They're 2-9. They're 2-9. What did you see coming? They're by far the worst team in the CFL. By far.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It's hour 2 of your favorite sports talk show. It's brought to you by Core Grain, doing the right thing for your farm. The Moose is back in the bunker. We're broadcasting from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. We got a full house. Our interns are here. It's just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
What you been doing for the last 20 minutes, Moose?
Just taking care of a couple emails, and then somebody wrote in about the your Alabama Crimson Tide.
What about them?
And it just made, they just wondered where they're ranked and are they still in the top, whatever. And so it just made me look at the college football schedule for Saturday, and it's a big game. Michigan State, both 7-0.
Your team, yes.
On
exactly.
Saturday.
Yeah. Well, hey, don't worry about the Crimson Tide. They've lost one time. It's probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing to lose now than in the college football playoff, obviously. So we're not worried about the Crimson Tide. Roll Tide. We are having fun today, as we always do, kind of going back and forth between football, hockey, football. I saw Jennifer from the Four Seasons writing in, and she says, the World Series starts tonight. I think Atlanta's going to take it all. Can we get somebody on the big board? Who's favored to win this thing?
I looked at our poll. We put a poll up on Instagram stories.
Yeah.
The voting public was saying Atlanta 60-40.
How about that?
When I was in there.
How about that?
I think people just hate the Houston Astros still because of the cheating scandal.
I agree.
Or saga. And, last time I talked to Greg Zahn, probably shouldn't be surprised by this, but he didn't think Houston did anything wrong. I didn't think Houston did anything wrong. They're just ahead of the curve. But whatever. I'm not a baseball guy. He is. Jeremy Shackleton writes in on Facebook. He says, is it time to panic in Chiefs Kingdom? We covered that yesterday extensively, right? We're moving on. That's so Monday. There's breaking news today from the Canadian Football League. The Toronto Argonauts have traded quarterback Nick Fatty Arbuckle to the Edmonton Elks for a third-round pick and the rights to former Ole Miss standout Chad Kelly from Edmonton's negotiation list. And I was hesitant to talk about it until the teams actually announced it. Until it was Facebook official?
Yep.
But within the last 20 to 30 minutes, both teams announced it. And if I may, I'm going to get to the NHL right away with some fun stuff. But for the benefit of those that weren't watching an hour ago, and you should have been, because coffee does start at 10 a.m. Mountain here, Caliber Coffee. What are you brewing today, by the way? What's
the Harvest Blend? It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Harvest Blend is on percolating here at the RP show. But the first thing that hit my mind when I saw this trade this morning was also the first thing I saw in the mentions at 3 Down Nation was why? And I just got to say this, and there's a few people that have backed me up on this, although I'm okay with standing out on my own. Believe me, I've made a career of it. But why? This is, to me, this is why the CFL struggles with credibility. And I know you'll have some strong thoughts on this, but when I look at the National Football, the league that, let's be honest, you've made it very clear you don't want to work with them. You've made that extremely clear. You want to battle them in this country for attention and eyeballs, viewership, ticket sales, what have you. Let's play a little word association here. Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay. I'll do it for you. Patrick Mahomes,
Kansas City.
Dak Prescott,
Cowboys.
Ben Roethlisberger,
Steelers.
And this CFL, Trevor Harris, Toronto, Ottawa, Edmonton, Montreal, Nick Arbuckle, Calgary, Ottawa, Toronto, Edmonton, all within a year. See what I'm saying?
I do.
Zach Collaros, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Toronto, Hamilton. So the viewer Craig from Toronto said, last hour, this quarterback carousel is getting a little ridiculous. And we talked about it with coaches for years in the CFL, and now it's quarterbacks. So this thing with Nick Arbuckle, I guess what is the transactional thing? Toronto wasn't playing him, so let's get his salary off the books, blah, blah, blah. It's just what's going on in the CFL isn't necessarily what meets the eye. And it continues, in my opinion, to do more damage to brand identification if you're trying to build a brand of the CFL in the country. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's fun that you can move players like this and have success, but you're right. You lose that brand identity. When you have teams that have longevity of success, what do you think about? Now, Ricky Ray's a different story because he had success in 2 places, but it was 2. Long time in Edmonton, long time in Toronto. Success. I go back further, Doug Flutie, Damon Allen, but it was very singular moves. Anthony Calvillo. You remember him as one team. Bo Levi, Jeff Garcia, right? These quarterbacks, you think of one team. Darian Durant, one team. I know he went on to Winnipeg.
Yeah, but so did Joe Montana. So did Joe Namath.
But he played.
Everybody goes somewhere at the end.
Yeah, right. That's different.
Ray Bork, Wayne Gretzky.
Not in the middle.
Yeah.
Right? Darian Durant. And the Riders were winning. If you want to have success, you have to have continuity. You can't just keep swapping players in and out all the time. It's not good for brand identity. It's not good for ticket sales. And it's what we've seen is it's not a recipe for on-field success either. The one anomaly in all of it feels like is Zach Collaros, who's now found a really nice home in Winnipeg and continues to have a lot of success. So it's a mess.
Darren in Salt Lake City watching on YouTube says, every franchise needs a face of the franchise. Yeah, but sometimes I wonder if the people running the show understand that. I really wonder. And who's behind these trades, the general managers, the owners, the bean counters. I don't know. What I'd rather talk about is this athletic projections. I don't know why I get so horny about this, but I do. Particularly the NHL ones. Not as I know people get excited about the NFL ones and stuff, but based on the opening 2 weeks of the NHL regular season, the way that it's going, and do we expect it to continue to go the way that it's not with 32 teams? It's not.
No, it's not.
But you know who's going to miss the playoffs? And again, we could probably figure this out ourselves. We just look stupid. We're not stupid. According to The Athletic, the numbers they've run, the Edmonton Oilers will win the Pacific Division. Vegas will finish second, Calgary will finish third, and San Jose will finish fourth. Are you listening?
I am.
I meant them. I knew you were listening. I could see. The Seattle Kraken will miss by a smidge. And then it'll go Vancouver, LA, Anaheim. They got Anaheim last. What? Over in the Central Division, we all had Colorado to finish first, and it's, according to this, there's a 99% chance of Colorado winning the division. How can they say that? What if McKinnon gets COVID again? Could happen. Blues second, Wild third, Jets the fourth and final playoff spot. And then here's who will miss in the Central: Dallas, Nashville, Chicago, Arizona. They say Arizona has a 0% chance of making the play. How can you say that?
6 games into the year.
Maybe they'll suddenly get good.
Guys, park it. You're done. 6 games.
Take your stuff off, guys. It's over.
Like, if you want to go out tomorrow night, doesn't matter. We're 0% chance. Okay? 0.
Don't show the Coyotes this, okay? They made it a game last night in Florida. I was watching it.
Yeah. These standings, I'm looking at them too, and they're just...
What about them?
I mean, the Atlantic at the top, Florida, okay, good. Buffalo, Detroit, and at the bottom, Tampa, Toronto, Montreal. You got the 2 Stanley Cup combatants at the bottom. You got Buffalo and Detroit at the top of the division. So, yes, we don't think this is going to stay like this.
It's fun to talk about,
but it's fun to talk about.
The Atlantic Division, and this is odd. And by the way, this just came out like within the last couple of days. They got Florida number 1, of course, America's team.
Mm-hmm.
They're off to their best start ever, 6-0. I watched them last night barely hang on to beat Arizona 5-3, by the way, with an empty netter. Frank the Tank Vetrano scoring his first of the year, and Jumbo Joe as well. They got the Bruins second, Leafs third. They are expecting Toronto to pull out of this, by the way.
Okay.
Tampa Bay fourth, and then missing are Montreal, Detroit, Ottawa, and Buffalo. And that's just about every division we've gone through. Let's just, for spits and giggles, talk about the Metropolitan Division. Carolina number 1, and they embarrassed the Leafs last night, but you know what? Who doesn't? Islanders 2, Caps 3, Penguins 4, and then missing are the Rangers, Devils, Flyers, and Blue Jackets, which I think is exactly what I predicted going into the year. Wouldn't that be something? It's 11-11, by the way.
Wow.
How about that?
How about that? The opportunity portal is opening. Are you going to walk through the door or be a little chicken?
The Rangers are interesting to me because I think they've got good goaltending with Shesterkin, and I think the Rangers could find a way to slide themselves in. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think the follow-up poll question, in the coming days or next week needs to be who's in the most trouble, who should be the most worried of these teams at the bottom. If Vegas keeps this trend going, Chicago hasn't won yet. I'm looking at teams that need to win hockey games. Everybody in the Metropolitan Division is above 500. Even the Flyers at 2-1-1 in the basement.
How about that?
Dead last. Is it Montreal that should be the most worried at 1-5? There's Tampa. So we've got some follow-up poll questions to this too.
Spicy.
The poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is: who's the best team in the National Hockey League? As we sit here on October the 26th, your options are Florida, Edmonton, St. Louis, and just for fun, we put in the Buffalo Sabres. What's the result saying, Clark? What are they saying early on in this thing? With 1 out of 57 polls reporting, the Florida Panthers are the best team in the National Hockey League right now. That's what 50% of respondents are saying. 38% are saying the Edmonton Oilers. 13% say the Blues, who, as far as I'm concerned, have come out of nowhere. Tarasenko scored 2 last night. Last I checked, he wanted out of there.
Yeah, I
don't understand this stuff.
You know, that'll be interesting, too, because he had such a bad start to the season last year, and he was not very good in the bubble. And we thought maybe he was disgruntled, he wanted out, and then maybe his time was over because he was one of the players that was trying to climb into that elite category from really, really good to the top tier of the National Hockey League. But maybe he's back because he's got the talent, clearly, and they seem to have things pointed in the right direction in St. Louis, at least early on, and that's a good thing.
From Philip Spatola, watching on YouTube, says the Metro is stacked. Best division top to bottom. The Atlantic has the more top end. Wayne in Victoria wonders if the Leafs are going to get their act together. You know that we've been asking that for literally a half century. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to our Leaf fan viewers watching across Ontario on Game Plus TV, but I'm just saying it the way that it is. I'm happy that John Kirby showed up. I was thinking that this morning. Where's John Kirby been?
Right.
I was starting to get worried. Well, he's watching on Facebook. And regarding these trades and the quarterback carousel in the CFL, he says, was the Trevor Harris actually vaccinated rumor going around that he wasn't? That's why he got traded? I heard that too, that you're face of the franchise. I felt like people in Edmonton were really starting to gravitate to Trevor Harris. And we were just there. It's not like I was watching from afar. And then they trade him. And it just seemed like things didn't add up. And you heard the rumors of that he was not vaccinated. Well, guess what? Neither is his general manager. So don't you just wish Edmonton could back up a couple years? Or just pretend like none of this ever happened?
I know.
Heesh. Because it's kind of been a mess. Jeremy Shackleton watching on Facebook. He's still with us. He says the Penguins winning without guys who are hurt or COVID is crazy. Once those guys get back, the Penguins could be dangerous, pending Jari. I'm with you on that one, bro. I didn't see the Penguins having this type of season. I had them picked to miss the playoffs, by the way. And then they went in and pulled down the Lightning's pants and gave them a spanking on opening night. Did they ever?
And then the Leafs. And they're doing it to everybody.
Right.
You know, Pittsburgh's got something figured out.
Just so happens that Ryan Malone, Penguins great, will be joining us later on this hour. And somebody has written in here about Connor Bedard, and I appreciate that they have. I wore this quarter zip today to symbolize my love for God's team, the Regina Pats Hockey Club. And there has been some rumors out there blowing up my phone that Connor Bedard wants to be traded because he's on a team that's lost 7 in a row, WHL's first ever exceptional player. I did a little digging last night, and I can confidently report today that the report is complete bull feathers, and Connor Bedard would never abandon his teammates, does not want to trade, and frankly, the source that I spoke with has no idea where this came from. So I'll say it again. The rumor that Connor Bedard wants out is bullschnitzel.
How about that?
And the Pats go into a home-and-home with the Swift Current Broncos this weekend. We'll continue all of this after the break. You're watching the RP Show. It's Hour 2, brought to you by Core Grain. Doing the right thing for your farm on the Game Plus TV network. Live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. And 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Got a son, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy, it's pretty impressive.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Just in time. By the way, Moose.
Yes.
Clear your schedule Thursday afternoon. Can you?
Look.
You just, for those that just saw the bumper of John Frenzy and I in Big Bird, the yellow Jeep, I need to put that sucker in the barn.
Okay.
And I haven't had a chance yet.
All right.
You'll notice that it's out here right behind IKS World Headquarters.
Is cleared.
Getting rained on. So we need to take the Jeep out to the farm. You need to follow me.
Yep.
And then bring me back in.
All right.
And for my brother, consider yourself warned. Thanks in advance. Ryan Malone's coming up next segment. And the topic of the Pittsburgh Penguins and their hot start has come up. He played with the Penguins, his hometown team. This is pretty cool. From 03 to 08. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning from 09 to 14. And then finished up with the New York Rangers. Oh, yeah, you know him. Ryan Malone. Went in the 4th round of the 1999 NHL entry draft. Played as junior with the Omaha Lancers. How about that? I'm looking forward to that chat.
That'll be good.
Which is kind of cool because Cine Girl, she just perked up. I love this. She is like, did somebody mention my Penguins? Here it is. She goes, yikes, I'm late. Sydney Girl watching in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yep, we got Ryan Malone coming up later on this hour, Sydney, so settle in for that. The big news, if you missed it, comes out of the Canadian Football League today. Don't you just love daytime sports talk? By the time everybody else gets there, we've put it to bed already. The Toronto Argonauts have dealt quarterback Nick Fatty Arbuckle to the Edmonton Elks for a 3rd-round pick and the rights to former Ole Miss standout Chad Kelly from Edmonton's negotiation list. We're still trying to figure out why necessarily, but everybody's talking about Nick Arbuckle and the fact that he's never hardly played in the CFL. He's on his 4th team already. And I just see him as a guy that has just had bad luck. COVID really threw a monkey wrench into his career. Northside YEG watching on YouTube says Arbuckle's been around the league, but he's still an unknown. It's exciting. More than if he's already thrown for 5,000 yards a few times. He did lead the Ottawa Red Blacks to a sim football championship in the 2019 CFL. 2020 CFL
I can
sim
see that touchdown to Brad Sinopoli.
To win it all in overtime.
That's right.
So there's that.
They're still mad in Saskatchewan. Never should have got to overtime.
They're out-coached.
Kicked a field goal.
They're out-coached. And the damn Sim Grey Cup, which, ironically enough, Liberty versus Coastal Carolina in the Liberty Bowl, I watched it. The exact same thing in a real game. Saskatchewan had a chance to kick a field goal and win the game in our video game Grey Cup. Nope, they wanted to punch it in. Why? Why? We don't understand why, Craig Dickinson. And then they lost in overtime. The difference in the real game, a field goal would have won it for them. They were trying to run it. They fumbled at the one in the real game, and they went to overtime, and Liberty ended up winning.
Yeah.
Ken Austin's. And I was on the phone to my football guys going, who made that call? Hugh Freeze or Ken Austin? They said it was Hugh Freeze, not Kent. Kent wouldn't do that. So we thought there's no way this dumb video game.
And here we go.
Then it happened in real life. Unbelievable. How about that?
Yeah.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes and says, what the heck are the Argos doing? Do they not think they can make a serious run at the Grey Cup this year? You don't trade away the greatest insurance policy a CFL team can have. He speaks for a lot of people by saying that. I thought the same thing. What are you doing? Pretty clear they don't care about the salary cap in Toronto.
Yeah.
Right? There's that whole side of it, too. Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg says Arbuckle has some upside to him. I think he'll still be a gamer at quarterback in a few years. Yeah, I don't think the quarterback play in the CFL is as bad as they say. Regarding Connor McBedard, Wayne in Victoria is watching, and he says, were the Pats that bad last year that even with Connor Bedard, they're losing 7 in a row? Well, if you'll give me a minute to talk about my favorite topic, and that is the Western Hockey League. The Regina Pats last year in the bubble. They played in a bubble. Moose and I were there. We called it. Pats had a bad start, recovered, and had there been a playoffs, they'd have been in them. And Connor Bedard was scoring 2 points a game. It was a little like Clark was pointing out, because you guys are all so young and it's so cute. He was looking at Bernie Nichols' career stats. And Clark was like, Bernie was just kind of average. And then one year he just went, boop. Yeah, that's when Gretzky showed up. and Bernie started playing on his right side. Connor Bedard had a little more talent last year to deal with than what he's got now. That's just a fact. So, as I said yesterday, he's Secretariat playing with a bunch of Clydesdales. And it's Canada. People are paying attention to what's going on, even with major junior hockey. So this weekend, God's team has a home-and-home with the Swift Current Broncos. And what I'm hearing is if it doesn't turn around after this weekend, and I'll be calling the game Saturday on television, we'll expect something next week in terms of a shakeup. So, from Jeff Kabilas in Winnipeg, long live the Dub. From Ryan Booth, he's watching on YouTube. He says, to all the U.S. viewers, the National Lacrosse League has signed a multi-year deal with ESPN+. We heard that last week, right, that was coming out?
That's right.
This announcement? You're talking about a league that's growing. I think it's the fastest growing pro league on the continent, the National Lacrosse League. It's impressive what they did in the pandemic where they just, as their commissioner, Nick Sakavich, said, we put a pin in the wall. We're not playing. And I almost wonder if the CFL should have done that. I don't know. I don't know. The CFL is like that tweener league. They're bigger than the NLL, but smaller than the bigger. They got caught in the crowd. And they're playing.
Yeah.
But you wonder for how long. Like I had a guy text me last night and say, he actually was one of our sponsors, and I don't want to say whom, but he said that there's too much on the coaches' plates. They've stripped this down to a skeleton staff. Well, that was in order to play. Like, we are where we are. What do we want here? And you realize how many people that have lost jobs that had been in the CFL that have moved on. People don't care. The games are on TV. So who did it right? I'm not sure.
Right.
Who wore the pandemic better?
Yeah, nothing's changed for the fans.
Exactly.
Watch the games, everything's fine.
That's what I'm trying to get
But the games are worse, and I can't figure out why. None of, you know? Like, we can point to all these things, but I do like clear decision-making. The NLL did do that. They said, we're not playing. They made it real clear. You know, didn't hum and haw, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But the CFL did, and now they are playing, so they get the benefit of that. So, you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. We'll see where both these leagues are in like a couple of years from now.
Well, thank you for pointing out the obvious that nobody can see, the forest for the trees. Lowest scoring games in the CFL since 1974. The quarterback play has dropped off. Well, go figure. We're now only dressing 2 per week. Coaching staffs have been chopped. Yeah, limited resources. But nobody stopped to think about it until you did. I thank Justin Kuder, a former video guy for the BC Lions and Saskatchewan Roughriders, for tweeting, here's some Penguins talk coming up on the Rod Pedersen Show. Thank you, Justin. When you have your viewers promoting your show for you, that's what you want.
Yeah.
I'm no expert, but
thank you.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says if Winnipeg got an NLL team, I'd be throwing all my money at that. I would say there's a pretty good chance of that happening. I want to see an NLL team go to Florida. That's what I want to see. I wanted to see a team go to Arizona, and I thought there was a chance of that. But now I'm realizing that I don't think they're going to go to Arizona. But they've expanded to, what, San Diego, Philadelphia. I think Winnipeg's just sitting there going, it just almost like begging for a team. Don't you?
Yeah.
It was a very busy arena, though.
They're in the state of New York, Fort Worth, Texas.
Just expanded to Fort Worth. Thank you for that.
Vegas is coming. So they're trying to expand all over the United States. It's a quickly growing league, and it's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Winnipeg, Montreal, maybe. I'm trying to think of what markets in Canada could support it. We've had this discussion before too, but yeah, it's fun.
I don't think they're necessarily looking at Canada because they haven't expanded in Canada. They've moved a team to Halifax.
Yeah,
they moved the Toronto Rock to Hamilton. But I'll say Florida again would be a nice spot for a team. Brady Leovold has entered the chat from Muskoka, Ontario, the former Dubster and Tampa Bay Lightning prospect. He says, hey, RP Show. Viewer Earl James on YouTube, he's scowling at our poll. Our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center is, who is the best team in the National Hockey League? ATM. At the moment. Florida, Edmonton, St. Louis, or Buffalo? And leading the way now are the Edmonton Oilers. What a shock from the Canadian team from the program broadcasting from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. Earl James writes it on YouTube and says the Panthers are nowhere near the best team in the league. Oilers look way more dominant. Hey, Earl, watch the games, brah. The Panthers are pretty much flattening everybody, including the Arizona Coyotes just last night.
I'm trying to find it. I know I saw it.
What?
There was a stat, and it talked about in however long, teams that have gone 6-0, most goals that they've scored. And the Panthers have cracked that top list. So they're scoring goals at a crazy pace. They're doing really well. They're winning hockey games against tough teams, I might add you, including the defending Stanley Cup champions. So there's not a lot to argue when it comes to the Florida Panthers. Now, Edmonton has been very good too, but my vote's got to go with the Panthers right now because they're playing against Tampa and they've beaten the Lightning. You can't control who you're playing against, but they look pretty good.
The Panthers won the initial Battle of Florida, beating Tampa Bay last week. The Panthers are just mowing through their competition, including, by the way, the potential Stanley Cup preview last week with the Colorado Avalanche in town, which I believe was Nathan McKinnon's season debut. Mm-hmm. He had successfully recovered from COVID, and the Panthers won that one, I think, 4-1. So I'll say it again. My preseason pick for the Stanley Cup final was the Vegas Golden Knights, Canada's team, against the Florida Panthers, and I'm not moving off that yet. I'm going to give the Vegas Golden Knights until U.S. Thanksgiving before I really start to panic.
Okay.
But as it stands right now, they're not in a playoff spot, Vegas. This is like the most turbulence they've ever gone through.
1-4? Yeah. It is.
Because
really
I'm a long-suffering Vegas Golden Knights fan. I got scars from being in fan base and this fan base.
Yeah, but I'd have to go back to the tape. I think I picked Florida and Chicago. Chicago's 0-5.
Didn't you say Florida, Edmonton?
Maybe now I could see Florida. Well, now I don't remember what I said.
I reserve the right as the host of this show to change my Stanley Cup prediction after January 1st.
Okay.
How about that?
We're going to take a timeout and be joined by Lightning, Penguins, Rangers alum, Ryan Malone. So many people looking forward to that. We got viewers tuning in from Pittsburgh just for it. Ryan Malone joins us next. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces in Canada and 31 states. Live streaming on YouTube and Facebook and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Matt, how's it going?
We have something really special.
Holy.
It's pretty impressive.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Canada's daytime sports talk show continues here on Game Plus TV. We mentioned Ryan Malone coming up right away here, NHL veteran. And I said the viewers in Pittsburgh have perked up. For instance, Cindy Girl, she says, so happy to see Ryan is coming up. Hello from a big fan here in Pittsburgh. Tampa in the house tonight with the Penguins. And Ryan now repping Ultimate Franchise Fantasy Sports. Bugsy Malone, we got a lot to go through with him, so we can bring him on the screen. G'day, Ryan. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, well, I'm excited to chat with you. There's a lot of things to chat with you. And what our viewers wanted to get at is these Penguins that have not lost in regulation. They're 3-0-2 to start the year. And I actually had them picked to not make the playoffs. And they still may not, but it's been a pretty good start. What's going on with these guys?
Yeah, I think sometimes when you have those big names out of the lineup, it gives opportunities for those young guys to step up. And under Coach Sullivan, he's pretty disciplined with his game plan. I think, having sit around, even though he's not in the games, but now he's practicing a little more, and his work ethic and leadership still, I think, helps all those guys, prepare for games and just, work together. And it's good to see, especially early in the season, to deal with some adversity and definitely build confidence for the long run.
It's interesting that you say that, because why some teams always win and why some teams always lose, culture takes you a long ways. And what you're saying is that. What is that culture in Pittsburgh? And by the way, you're in Tampa too. Clearly they're doing something right. Maybe just not right off the start of the year, but culture is a big thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, forget that a little bit, just how everyone needs to kind of accept the role. And sometimes, it's a lot easier as well as the player when the coach tells you, these are kind of your expectations. So you kind of fit in and understand what you have to do, and you can do your job the best that you can. And I think everyone knows now you need everybody and then some to make it through the playoffs healthy and to finish with the Stanley Cup over your head. So it's all part of the development, but if everyone's buying into the same goal and purpose, it's a pretty special feeling.
Well, and the Lightning, by the way, 2-3-1. You spent about even time in both places. Pittsburgh went in and, like I said, pulled down the Lightning's pants and gave them a spanking on opening night. And John Cooper said afterwards, our American League team could have put up a bigger fight than these guys tonight. Is it a hangover in Tampa? What's going on with the Lightning?
It definitely could be a hangover. They played a lot of hockey, and they battled back a few games there. They're out third in the third period in Detroit. I think they were down 2 or 3 goals, end up coming back, which still shows they have that piss and vinegar. And enough is enough, I think they kind of said. But I think anytime. I mean, obviously, I've never won back-to-back Stanley Cups, but I'm pretty sure at the start of the season, you might be a little rusty or a little. Take things for granted and get back to the way that you need to kind of grind and work it out and kind of keep things simple. Less is more sometimes.
I'll tell you what, that's the thing. Pittsburgh would have an excuse if things weren't going their way. Tampa really doesn't. They got their big guns. When you were talking about a small world, Ryan, the guys mentioned for me to ask you about the Robert Morse University campaign. My niece, and her dad's watching right now, my brother, she committed to Robert Morse University. She was all excited. She was to be a freshman this year. And then, as you know, in June, boop, carpet ripped out. It was a very traumatic day in our family. And she's ended up at Mercyhurst, and she's having a great freshman season. But can you tell our viewers about what's going on with Robert Morse University? Because they canceled their hockey programs, and what your involvement is there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think I had goosebumps. It's just something that, being from there and growing up there, we did not have any other hockey teams to look to go to or stay in the area to pursue our, hockey career. If it was just college or even juniors. So we obviously had to leave home, and now to have a Division I program there, and a successful one. I know the women's team just won the year before they cut the team. And then also the success of the men's team in previous years, it just was a very unfortunate. I think it caught a lot of people off guard, and I'm just doing my best to kind of raise awareness and help show the support. Not to just reinstate the team for a year or two, but have it there for a long time for those local kids, or to anyone to come in there and try to fulfill their dream to gain. Get to the next level, but also be close to home. I was very fortunate to play in my hometown, and I never would have dreamt it. And to just even to think about back in the day when you could have developed more, through the college ranks there, to have those local colleges there for your goal to make it. And I think that is my job now, to try to just bring awareness to the program and try to raise some funds to reinstate the program for a long time.
You played junior in Omaha, and then you went to St. Cloud State, of course. When you talk about playing in your hometown, it was with the Penguins, but I think it would be pretty exciting for hometown kids to stay at home and play college hockey too. So where's that at? Do you think that they're going to bring the hockey program back, or what?
I mean, that's where I've been calling around. I talked to Mario. I know Dave Morehouse. They reached out early on, and they kind of couldn't really, I guess, come to terms with certain things. So they're staying out of it for the time being. And I know, Barstool Sports stepped up and tried to really help out. Their CEO, Erica, there is a diehard hockey fan, especially for the women's side, trying to promote things and get that going. They seem not to respond too well to Barstool Sports with, I guess, their reputation. I'm not sure. But so they are helping out in other ways through the Pittsburgh Hockey Foundation. And, right now I'm working with, I'm going to start this chip-in pot to help, raise the money to reinstate the teams. And chip-in is a foundation where you kind of get rewarded for helping out, different programs or people in need. It was one of the platforms I met through UFFS, along with AO Sports and FanCentrics. All these platforms are really about, empowering the athletes, but also connecting with the fans and giving the fans more bang for their buck than, what they're previously getting now. So it's really bringing the fans and athletes together. And like I said earlier, this just hits home for me, being from Pittsburgh, not having any college teams there, or really any higher level hockey. To see it take off now as a hockey town, I'd be very disappointed if they don't have a Division I hockey team there. And I think RMU has done a great job in the past with their success, and it's our job to just show the support, and then the board can reinstate the team. So that is the goal.
Good luck with that, by the way. There are so many people writing in with messages to Ryan Bugsy Malone. The latest, Andrea Ellis. Hey, Ryan. There's a lot. Ryan's with Ultimate Franchise Fantasy Sports now, which kind of has a quasi-office in this building. And Gerald Smiley from Chip In is a big supporter of ours, just a super dude. So, Ryan, I feel like we're going to be talking a lot here in the future. I appreciate the time. We do got to run. But thanks for this, and let's do it again soon here as we get, once the snow flies, for sure.
Yeah, it sounds good. I'll give you an update here. We have to raise that money by mid-December to reinstate the team for next year. So I'll set up some links and tweet some stuff out to get some links out so people can get informed and help us out if you can.
Whatever you need, we're here to help. Thanks, Bugsy.
All right, thanks for having me.
Ryan Malone checking in from Pittsburgh today on Canada's daytime sports talk show. We'll be right back with Overtime. We'll turn it over to you. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership.
Safety is a primary pillar at Core Green. We have core certification. Our workers are following best practices in the industry for safety. We always want to make sure that our contractors, us here at the shop, and our customers can come to work and go home at the end of every day. Give Core Green Systems a call today.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Yeah, buddy. Welcome to Overtime. How's it going, Moose? What?
It was great. Good chat with Bugsy. I was listening to that in my office.
Wow, how about that? I never met him before.
No, he's a really, really good guy. He's on board with everything that's been going on. So
yeah, I feel like we're going to be big friends.
I feel like it.
GGN, Good Guy Network. Yep. He's in it now. I said this is viewer takeover, so let's go there. From Gene Pachkowski on Twitter says, you mentioned unvaccinated players and staff. Consider this. Smallpox was eradicated due to mandatory global vaccines. No such thing as anti-vaxxers. Imagine that. I think I'm going to stay away from that.
It's just bob and weave, stay in the pocket.
Oof, oof, oof. Yeah. Float like about a nope. I was saying to you, I was reading you.
The reading?
The reading.
Yeah.
And it said to inject every thought with gratitude. So I was laying there last night thinking, I'm grateful that we don't have to deal with this crap. Like the universities and the sports teams, we've been very lucky. I don't necessarily know how. I'm not even going to touch wood because it's just, thank you. I'm grateful that we've been able to travel, cross the border, or at least I have.
Yes.
You, provincial borders with me, and not have to worry about this stuff that these other teams are dealing with in leagues, like the university canceling games and the NFL, CFL, NHL having COVID outbreaks. We've been very fortunate.
We really have. We really have been fortunate. We're able to go to games. We're able to, watch them on television every night. We're able to, get what we need. Yeah, things aren't back to what they were 3 years ago, but we have a lot of blessings that we can be thankful for. And I know people are dealing with a lot worse. I know the healthcare industry is going through it. I know people are tough. I know the hospitals are full. We're sending from this province, sending patients out of province and all that kind of stuff. So for you and I, we've got it pretty good. I think we're pretty grateful for that.
Sure. And I don't slough any of this off because I personally have friends that are in cancer battles right now that are unable to get their surgeries because the hospital's full of COVID patients. So I get it. This ain't no joke. While I have a minute, let's do a sports update here. Moose. Just a couple of items of what's going on. World Series. That was the question I wanted. Are you going to be watching tonight? Game 1 of the World Series. Houston Astros are in the World Series for the third time in 5 years. They go into Game 1 against the Braves tonight as the betting favorites in Vegas. Sure to be cheered at home at Minute Maid Park tonight. But everywhere else, they're seen as the villains. Considered baseball's biggest cheaters after using an illegal sign-stealing scheme on their way to winning the 2017 championship. You know what I've discerned, Moose? I will be listening to it. Driving out to Wilcox tonight to broadcast the Hounds and the Mustangs. I'm just tickled that I'm going out there. I really am. Read my commentary on that at rodpeterson.com today, or listen to it on Cat Country or Rock 98.5. Last time I broadcast a Notre Dame-Melfort game was 1992. And does Weyburn still carry the World Series games on the radio? Can somebody tell me that?
Good question. If that network of stations, we used to carry them in Rosetown. They carry it in Weyburn. So you might be able to listen to it.
At the very least, I'll have it on my satellite radio.
That's right.
It'd be nice if my, what do you call it, alma mater, CFSL's carrying the games. 1190 on your AM dial, country favorites. Andrew Mangiapane had a pair of goals, and the Calgary Flames stayed hot, beating the Rangers 5-1 Monday for their third straight win. Also, Drake Batherson's first hat trick in the NHL wasn't enough as the Sens fell 7-5 to Washington. And the Leafs lost in Carolina 4-1. Those athletic projections have the Sens missing the playoffs. They probably will because they're in such a tough division, but that sucks.
It does.
But they're on the way up. The Vancouver Canucks have missed their fans. It's been nearly 600 days since the club has played a regular season game in front of a crowd at Rogers Arena. That'll end tonight when Vancouver welcomes the Minnesota Wild. Also, the Flames are at New Jersey. The Montreal Canadiens visit Seattle. And the Winnipeg Jets travel to Anaheim. The Jets have points in 4 straight. And OG Anunoby scored 22 points. Why do I keep hearing the voice of, who's our guy?
Matt Devlin.
Yeah, I always. Matt, I just
OG Anunoby. From Saskatoon.
From Halifax. I love that guy, Matt Devlin. And he follows me on Twitter. OG Anunoby scored 22 points to lead the Raptors, but Toronto still dropped a 111. 108 decision to Chicago. Former Raptors star DeMar DeRozan scored 26 points for the Bulls. Toronto's lost 3 of 4, with all 3 losses coming at Scotiabank Arena. Again, I say, who are these guys?
Do I need to print you another program?
I said that last year, right?
You still got it.
Who are these guys? The Toronto Raptors. Here's the sad thing, if I can just get something off my chest. And why not? That's what we do here every day, right, for 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the post-game wrap with Kate Burness. It was Leo Routen's last night. And who's the little guy from Syracuse? Jack Armstrong?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And I'm just so upset that Rod Black isn't there anymore. And I just think that he deserved a 21-gun salute on his way out of town. But no. Did the CFL do anything to honor Rod Black after calling their games for 25 to 30 years? If they did, I missed it.
I know. I missed it too.
TSN itself, yeah, there was a statement. Oh, man, just this business. If you want to know why, just the lack of class in a lot of ways just is highly disturbing. Rod Black deserved so much better than what he got. Leighton Janice watching in BC says, great show, Rod. Thanks for brightening up this gloomy West Coast day. Thank you. That's our idea. That's what we do here. From my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat. She says, the Raptors will get it together. I know, but when? From Cinny Girl in Pittsburgh. She says, great words, Moose. We all truly need to count our blessings. I said it first, not him. What's tomorrow?
I don't need the credit.
Exactly. What are you, Rod Rust now?
Yeah.
Thanks to Ryan Bugsy Malone and the Sports Doctor. We'll see you tomorrow at noon Eastern right here on Game Plus TV. Put him up. McFly, hello.